What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with an absolute banger of a video. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Drop a like if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit the sub button. We are less than 1,500 subs away from 500K at the time of recording. So please, even if you can't stand me, you absolutely hate me, just pretend to like me, press the sub button, and then once I hit 500K, you can unsub, leave 100 hate comments, and never come back. But just for this brief moment, let's pretend to get along. Press that sub button, baby. Thank you guys in advance. Also, check out the new merch available now at goblin420.com. We've got water bottles, t-shirts, hoodies. Listen, summer's coming up. Get your goblin gear, get your water bottle, and get ready to party, because hydration is very key, especially in the heat. Head over to goblin420.com immediately and check those out. Thank you all for the support on that, and without further ado, let's dive into the video. So, this took place in early 2021, just last year, a little over a year ago now. And during this phase of my life, the first, I'd say 6 or so months of 2021, I was on a really heavy drug binge, which was kind of unlike any other drug binge I've been on before, because most of my drug binges prior to this were a social thing, you know? I would go out with friends every day and party or do some shit, or they were like a fun kind of thing almost. I don't necessarily want to say fun, because they're not, but they kind of are. I mean, you don't do drugs because they're fucking boring, you know? So, either way, this binge was different because I was doing drugs out of, depression. I was not in a very great place. So, instead of going out and doing things socially a lot with my friends, I was just holing up in the crib, getting absolutely zooted on whatever I could pretty much every day. Now, on this particular day, I had to go up to court for a court case. My county that I had to drive to for this court case was in my hometown that I grew up in, which was about 2.5 hours away from where I am now. So I had to pack it up and hit the road. Now, the problem with that is this. I, at the time, had a suspended driver's license. I didn't get it back for about a month and a half after this happened, right? After this story happened. So I was fairly used to not having a license by now. I hadn't had it for over a year at this point, but I would risk it for the biscuit pretty often, you know? I admit I would still drive without the license. I mean, every now and then, if I had to do what I had to do, I'd do it. And this was a court date. It's not like I could call an Uber. This is an almost 3-hour drive. No one's gonna come scoop me and do a 6-hour round trip, you know? No shot. So I had to figure it out on my own. I'd hop on Waze. I'd map out the best route possible with the least amount of cops. I'd stay off the highways the whole time, and I would drive as smooth as I could. Now, I hopped in my car. At the time, I still have this car. I love it. I don't think I'm ever going to sell it, honestly. But I was driving my 2003 C32 AMG, my Mercedes. Old thing, got plenty of miles on it, but my God, does it run like a dream, and I fucking love it. It's so fun to drive, right? So, at the time, it was either that or my piece of shit Jeep Liberty that I had as a winter car, because my old Mercedes could not hang in the winters, so I spent $1,500 on this really old Jeep Liberty, and at this point, the thing was barely fucking kicking it, so I was like, well, alright, we're taking the Mercedes. The mistake I made was I did not check the weather. You see, I neglected the Mercedes a little bit in the sense that the tires were very bald, and since I hadn't really been driving it much recently because it was still it was like the beginning of March at this point, so the snow was just clearing up, and it was just getting to the time of year where I could drive this car again. So the tires definitely needed to be replaced. They were fucking bald as shit. They look like Johnny Sins. I mean, Howie Mandel, bald as fuck, right? But I thought nothing of it at the time. I was like, yeah, it still drives fine, whatever, you know, I can get up to court. So I pack a few things in my car. I'm planning to only be away from my house for like 2 days tops, you know? So I just pack a little backpack up. I bring my clothes with me. I bring some weed. And I bring some of my other goodies. I brought a little bit of Coke with me, probably like an 8-ball. And I also brought some Xanax. You see, I always talk down on Xans, and I admit that sometimes I make mistakes, and this entire drug binge was a major mistake, because I was doing Xanax through almost all of it. As much as I talk down on Xans on this channel, at the end of the day, they're still a drug, and I'm still a drug addict. So every now and then, I'll slip up and fold, and this was one of those moments. Now, I packed up a fair bit of Xans and Coke, and the reason I packed those two things together is because I was doing a lot of blow at the time, but also I was having trouble going to sleep at the end of the night on these Coke binges, so I would take Xans to try to mellow it out. It very rarely worked, but it was like some stupid shit that I had in my brain that I just convinced myself would eventually work if I made myself barred out enough. In reality, it would just bring me down from the Coke high, and then I'd keep doing more lines and taking more Xans and wasting more money, but we'll get to that later. So I hop in the Mercedes, and I start driving, and I'm cruising, having a blast, right? I'm taking the back road, so what was normally a 2.5-hour drive, this really ended up being, I guess, total driving time, probably closer to 4 hours, because, like I said, I couldn't take highways. I was going like 50 the whole time, you know, so it slowed it down quite a bit. But maybe, I don't know, it was probably like an hour into my drive, I'd say, maybe an hour and a half. The rain started coming down. Very hard. I mean, like, bad. Out of nowhere. It was sunny one moment, then it got cloudy almost as soon as I left my house, and then it started pouring, dude. Now, normally this ain't a problem. Sure, it's rain. It rains all the time in Illinois. But my tires are bald as fuck. Remember, Howie Mandel tier bald. Like, super bald. So I have no traction. I'm driving on these back roads, and I'm skidding out going anything over 20. Like, if I even slightly accelerate, it's just not happening. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, fuck, dude. You know, like, I don't have all-wheel drive. I have bald-ass tires. Like, I'm boned. It gets to the point where it's so bad that I'm genuinely going like 30 in a 50 because I can barely control my car. So I realized pretty quickly that I need to stop and at least wait out this storm. The problem is I'm taking back roads, and for those of you who don't live in Illinois, you might think of Illinois as just like Chicago. If Illinois did not have Chicago, we would be like a Kentucky tier state. I mean, I'm talking anything south of probably like, I'd say Joliet is fairly inbred, like very scuffed. Everything's a cornfield, like sketchy towns, like it. Illinois is a shithole outside of Chicago, and I am in the heart of that shithole. So I'm driving through, and I stop in a town. This is the most Illinois shit ever. I shit you not. I end up stopping in a town that is called Farmer City. I don't know who named this shit, but that is the name of the town. This was a tiny-ass town, bro. I'm talking, like, super small. Like, there was no, like, big box stores that I could see. It was so small. Like, I could probably drive all the roads in this town within 30 minutes. I'm not talking like the one end to the other. I'm talking every road in the town. I could probably clear in like 30 minutes flat. Tops. That's if I'm going at a leisurely pace. So I end up stopping in Farmer City, and the drive had been going okay besides the weather so far, but I pull up to this hotel. I remember it's this fucking Days Inn, dude. Oh my God. I walk into this place, and I realized pretty quickly that this is going to be ugly because the lobby, not even my room, the lobby smells like someone brought their like fucked up dog in there, like their really senile dog who has fucked up bowels, and dude just let it blow all over every surface in there. I mean, disgusting, dude. The mustiest smell I've ever smelled in my life, dude. I've been to seedy strip clubs, and those didn't smell half as bad as this shit. Now, I book a room because I didn't want to just sit in my car the whole time, and it was pretty cheap. I'm in bumfuck nowhere. I don't remember how much I paid, but I'm pretty sure it was only like $50 or $60 for the whole night or some shit. So I was like, yeah, dude, I mean, that's not a terrible deal. I'll take that, you know? So I get a room, I go up to my room, and you know, I mean, For what I paid, I didn't really give a shit about the room, right? I wasn't initially planning to sleep there. I was just going to get fucked up, you know? Try to wait out this storm a little bit. So I immediately open up my backpack and I start chopping up some lines on the table. I got the TV going, I'm chilling out. Honestly, I'm kind of vibing in here. I chop up some lines and I start doing some blow, and I don't really know what's ahead of me for the day yet. It ended up raining for most of the day, so I'm chilling out and I'm trying to spread out the amount of blow I'm doing. I'm not trying to get too fucked up because I still had to drive to court. So I'm like, yo, I'll be here for a few hours. I'll do a few lines and I'll be okay. You know, I'll chill out, watch some TV, maybe smoke some weed and then dip out. That's not what ended up happening. It ended up raining pretty much all fucking day. Like, I'm talking, I got to this hotel at it was pretty early in the day, like maybe 4 p.m. I left pretty early in the day, and it was raining for so long that the sun went down, and it was still coming down. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm spending the night here, bro. Because my rule of thumb when I was driving on my suspended was I would always only drive at day, so I could clearly see what was around me, clearly see speed traps. I ain't letting no one catch me off guard. So once the sun went down, I was like, yeah, okay, all right, we're done here, dude. We're spending the night. That's when I decided to up it a notch and really start getting geeked. Now, mind you, I had court the following morning. I drove up the day before court thinking I was being smart. I am now at least another 2 hours away from my destination. My court is at 8:30 a.m. the following day. I am now sitting in a hotel in I can't even make the name of the city up. Farmer fucking City. No, you know what? Let me look it up right now. It's a small town. Farmer City. Let's see. Fucking 2,000 people in that bitch, bro. I can get the whole population of Farmer City in a live stream. That's fucked, dude. All right, back on top. Basically, this place is hell, right? So either way, back on topic here. I decide to start getting a little crazy with the blow. I'm like, yo, dude, I'll have a little more fun, and then I'll take a Xan or two to calm me down, right? So I start chopping up fat, dude. I pre-chop like 6 lines on this table, on this desk, and I just start going to town on them, dude. I'm feeling great. I mean, I'm geeked out of my mind. My face is starting to go numb, and I was trying to limit myself before this, but now I'm just going all in. I mean, my face is starting to go numb. My fingers are getting a little tingly. I'm getting excited. And one thing I always enjoyed about doing coke was I enjoyed that I could still stay clear-headed on it. You know, I could still do things. I could hold a conversation. I could watch something. I could play a video game. So I never really knew when to stop, because typically when I would stop myself with drugs is when I felt myself getting too incapable of doing something. But I never would really get to that point with coke, and that's why it was real dangerous for me. I'm very glad I quit that shit. But either way, I start getting fucking geeked out of my mind. And this goes on for another 3 or 4 hours until a little bit past midnight. It's 1 a.m. and I am covered in cold sweat. I'm talking, I got pit stains galore in my fucking shirt. I am cold sweating. I'm greasy. I feel disgusting. I can taste the coke drip in the back of my throat. My gums are fucking numb. My breath probably smells like 19 different chemicals from all the cocaine I've gummed. I mean, I am in full scuffed position right now. So I'm like, yo, maybe we should tone it down and try to go to sleep. So that's what I do at first. I just try to go to sleep. And obviously that doesn't fucking work. So I opt to take one of my Xans to try to put me to sleep. Now, I mentioned this a little earlier in the video. However, taking a Xan to make you go to sleep only really works when you're all the way come down off the blow. I'm talking, it's been well over an hour, maybe even 2 since you did the last line. Because even though the initial effects of the line, yeah, they last 30, 45 minutes, I feel like you still have that kind of afterglow. You still have that buzz almost, where even when you're not technically geeked, you still have way too much energy, you know? I made the mistake of popping this Xan fucking 20 minutes after my last line. So obviously, I didn't actually get tired. I just started coming down. But then that made me start fiending for more blow. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, I'm really craving a line right now. So I'd fold, and I did another line, right? Almost right after I took this Xan. I'm talking like 30 minutes after. I was getting impatient. I'm like, dude, I'm not even tired yet. So I did another fucking line, because I was like, fuck it. And I kept having this conflict of like, yo, I should do more coke and stay up. And then, yo, no, you need to sleep. You have a long drive in the morning. And then I'd take a Xan, and then I'd do a couple lines. And I kept repeating this for quite a few hours and just getting no progress in either fucking direction. So finally, it comes to like probably like 3 in the morning, dude. And I'm starting to actually freak out, because I'm like, yo, realistically, I gotta leave this hotel at like 6 a.m., bro. It's 3 right now. If I fell asleep at this very second, I only get 3 hours of fucking sleep. So I'm kind of freaking out a little bit, and I'm like, yo, okay, I actually need to I was genuinely debating on dumping my blowout at this point, and I didn't actually know how much coke I'd even done. I wasn't keeping track. So finally, I decided to check how much blow I had left, and I brought with me about an 8-ball, and I was shitting bricks. I had maybe 1.5 grams left. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, there's no way I blew through 2 grams tonight, bro. I was just chilling until recently, and that's the thing with coke. Another thing, you always think you did less than you really did, dude. That drug is the devil, bro. It drains your bank account, drains your fucking brain cell. Listen. Fuck that shit, okay? My next drug tier list, that shit's getting bumped down a tier 2, I'll tell you that. But either way, I'm sitting there, and I realize how much coke I did, and I'm like, now I'm starting to freak out, because, like, fuck, am I even going to have enough blow for, like, my day up north, you know? Like, what if I want to kick it with some friends? And I'm starting to, like, really get stressed about this. So I say, fuck it, I gotta go to sleep. I brought like 5 or so Xans with me, and at this point, I'd already taken 2.5 of these fuckers, right? I was not feeling tired whatsoever, so I said, yo, cutting off the coke, I'm taking 2 bars, and I'm just going to try to knock the fuck out. Now, luckily for me, it worked. It fucking worked. I did end up passing out. I don't really remember what time. I'd guesstimate around like 4 in the morning maybe, but I ended up passing out after taking those last 2 Xans, right? I only had like a half a bar left at this point, and I had brought all this shit with me and planned to not even get through it all while I was gone. I was expecting to come home with some more, so this was not good for the drug schedule. But either way, I end up passing out, and I remember before I took these last 2 Xans, I set like 1,000,000 alarms on my phone. I always do this. It's my ritual. I am a very heavy sleeper, and I can't wake up for shit. So I brute force myself into waking up. I will set like 15 alarms within a 20-minute time span and have my phone on full volume all night long. I'll set as many alarms as I can. I'll set one on the clock. I'll set one on my phone. I'll get a wake-up call if they'll fucking offer it, you know? Like, no holds barred. Whatever it takes to wake me up. If the SWAT team offered a wake-up service where they'd come in and flashbang me, I'd probably fucking take it, right? So I wake up the following morning super fucking late. I was supposed to be out of the hotel by 6. I didn't even wake up until 6:30, and I remember the sheer fucking panic. I got up, I don't even know how, because I overslept my alarms. I just, like, sat up, and I was like, I looked over at the clock, and I was like, oh my fucking God. So I got up, and I didn't even have time to shower, bro. Mind you, I was cold sweating all night the night before, so I am a grease ball, dude. I'm a sleazeball. Like, if you saw me in this courtroom, you'd look at me and be like, yeah, that guy's probably homeless, and he probably has stolen at least, like, 10 shopping carts, you know? I mean, this guy's a fucking tweaker. So I hop in my car. I mean, I pack everything up. I do a couple lines before I leave, because I need to wake the fuck up, and I hop in my car and dip. I mean, I'm flying on these back roads, bro. Luckily, it is super early in the morning, so combined with the fact that I'm on these really low-key back roads, there was like no traffic, no cops, nothing, dude. I flew. Now, I still ended up making it to my court date, but I got there an hour late. And the only thing that saved my fucking ass that day was that the judge also pulled up late as shit. They don't give a fuck about you, bro. That judge will come in whenever the fuck they want, bro. They don't care. What a easy job being a judge. You come in and you listen to people's problems and then you slam a hammer and go home. What a sick, damn, why am I doing this shit, dude? I should be a judge. I'd free all the homies. I swear to God. That's probably why I'm not a judge. All right, either way, back on topic here. So I make it to my court date an hour late, but luckily the prick judge was late too, so we're good. Now I'm talking to my lawyer. My lawyer's there waiting for me. He's like, oh, where were you? Like, I tried getting a hold of you, and I was like, dude, I was fucking flying up here. And I wonder what was going through my lawyer's head, because I swear to God, I must have looked like I just went through the most traumatic experience of my life. I mean, I look like I just walked to this court date from fucking Honduras, dude. I was just disgusting, bro. I was wearing the same fucking shirt as the day before with the sweat stains and all. I mean, they probably dried up at this point, but still. Listen, I was in no good condition, but I made it to this court date, and the reason that I was so stressed about making it to this one is because I thought this was my sentencing. I thought that this was my plea, right? I was told that I was going to plead today and then potentially get my sentencing, right? Like, potentially. That's what my lawyer told me. Turns out my lawyer was never right about anything throughout the whole case because I cheaped out and didn't hire a good one. My mistake. So I showed up and it just got extended again. Like, that's all that... I didn't even have to be there. So all of this happened for quite literally no reason. So obviously, after I got out of that court date, I didn't want to go straight home because I was exhausted. So I hit up my mom and I was like, hey, I'm in town for court. Can I stay at your house for the day? Like, I'm really tired. I want to sleep, She's like, yeah, sure. You can come over. So I go over to my mom's house and I'm sitting there. And now at this point, I'm feeling so much more relieved. What do I do to celebrate? I get in her house. I go up to my old bedroom, where my bedroom used to be. It's just a guest room now. And I start doing the last of my fucking Coke. I shit you not. I'm sitting there and I'm up almost all day. I got to my mom's house at probably 11 a.m. I was awake doing blow in my fucking old bedroom until a good 6 p.m. I'm not even doing anything, just watching YouTube videos, bro, scrolling around. I had to have a little celebration, but now it was 6 p.m. and it reached the point where I was running out entirely. I was no longer running low. Running low would be a blessing. I was running out. And that is one of the scariest concepts ever for a Coke fiend. I was not happy. And I also hadn't smoked any weed since I left my house. So I ended up putting down the blow, saving the last quarter gram I had left, and twisting up a blunt. And after I smoked that blunt, I started to come down a lot smoother and finally knocked the fuck out and got the sleep I needed. Now, I don't know why my dumb ass was driving not only with a suspended, but with multiple felony-worthy drugs on me, but you know what? Sometimes I'm just a stupid son of a bitch. That's the way life goes. But either way, we ended up making it. So, hey, big thumbs up to me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We are so close to 500K, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, gamers.